If you want to rent this beautiful space,
You need him Jersey.
yeah, it don't matter. Forget it. You didn't have to highlight that. You didn't have to highlight. If you want to rent this beautiful space, or how much of 1,000 square feet of it, contact Brunton Studio. You can check them out on their Instagram page. You can check out on Google. You can find their location. You can call, and yeah.
Book this space for all your photo and
Lovely
video
space.
needs.
Big up Brunton.
Big up Brunton.
Big up Brunton.
Brunton done them. How you feel about being a murderer?
I mean, it kind of goes with the villainous aesthetic that I tend to kind of like and appreciate. So, why? I should not be saying that in this climate here right now.
We're not gonna tell them what you killed or anything. We're just gonna keep it vague. But what's going on? All right, cool. We're good. Everybody good?
Yes.
Everybody
sir.
cool. How was work? That's a nice watch. I just like not watching it.
Oh, thank you. This was one of those treat yourself kind of.
What is it?
What is it?
It's not one of the big brands, but
It also
That's
nice.
okay.
That's-
It just what is it?
Nobody judging you, you know.
Sunburn or something like this.
As you can see, nobody could judge you.
Yeah, my little apple.
What is it? You said sun what?
Sunburn, sunborn. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Like the shape. It's a nice shape.
Why did you treat yourself to it? What was the reason for the treat?
What was your accomplishment? Should you say?
It was one of those things where, like, my therapist was always say, Terrell, celebrate your small wins.
Mhm.
And I usually don't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, Terrell, after our project has ended, treat yourself to something nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I started liking watches of all kinds now. So this is
Yeah.
my new obsession. So I want
Okay.
to start collecting them.
I think it's definitely an unhealthy addiction for sure. Once you get into it,
Yeah.
but I would like to have that unhealthy addiction. Me personally, I think just having the
It's
money,
fun.
just like just spend on this, like, all right, cool, this is nice.
I used to do it with gear back in the day. But
Yeah.
since I'm not doing photography again, it's like I don't need to spend money on that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really big on gear. I don't know. I never had the passion for it. Like, I don't really need 10 different lenses, you know? Like, one is fine.
It doesn't make sense because, like, with me, I only had maybe three main lenses, and it wasn't even like the fancy lens.
Yeah.
It was just literally the kit lens that came with my camera.
No, I was rocking my kit lens for like the
Right,
longest time. I was like,
I still rock my kit plans to this.
To
To this
day.
day.
I was
this
like,
day.
the quality of this is actually very good for the price.
Yeah, and like I just had my 50, and I was like, that was it for me.
Yeah, I used to think I wanted more lenses, and then I went and looked at the price of lenses. I was like, maybe my kit lens could continue.
Nah, I was good. And if I needed a specific lens,
Yeah.
Thankfully, my close friends are photographers, so I could have just go like, hey,
Yeah,
let me this lens.
Yeah.
I would have asked Jabari once in a while. I'm like, I think I'll need a little more range. Because,
Yeah. I think if you're doing video and you have primes, yes, that makes sense. Like, that is like that's a thing that makes like,
It makes a
and then also like different lenses have different looks as well too. So I understand that, but photography wise,
I don't need it. And I mean,
why
it
you have
is-
3 different primes?
I mean, you know, people just have to do it for the look as well too.
Why you have?
But I guess it's based on the type of work that you're doing. You would need specific things.
Yeah, I just really like the range ones, like the zooms.
Multiple
Yeah,
bus.
yeah. What was the widest one? I think it's at 10 to 18,
Yes.
and then you get 24 to 70, 70 to 200.
that wide Umar then, man. Missing it, you know.
Oh, we have a fisher here. I think it's like at 18 or something like that, or 10.
Yeah, I saw it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I took some pictures on the computer with Ruben Brown. You know Brown? Rasta, tall, slim guy.
Not probably by face. I
Yeah.
really don't know people by names.
You want an intro?
No, this is the intro. What more do we need?
Okay.
I feel like once you see Terrell's face, you know.
What the business about?
You know,
Then we ain't do
it's
that.
serious.
We ain't going on that road. But then again, I'm trying to change that very serious persona. Because I'm not very serious.
I don't know. Well, I wouldn't say that you're a serious person, but I just can't see you like very like up and bubbly and high energy, if that makes sense.
It varies. It depends on who I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
So like my close friends on it, they know drunk Terrell, or completely different Terrell. I
Right.
mean, granted, I don't drink anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
when chill out and I start talking shit, yeah. But generally, the professional persona could be a little bit button up sometime now.
Okay. How come you stop drinking?
Health,
Right.
yeah.
What happened? And yeah.
By New Year's Day, story time.
This
Story time.
just gone?
Yeah,
Okay.
literally New
By the
Year's
way, this is Terrell George.
Hi, internet.
From Tobago, lives in Trinidad now. He is a designer, artist, and everything in between.
All of that.
Anything else? Yeah. He also loves hats.
Yeah, hats and watches. That's like my latest obsession right now.
Yeah. So yeah, New Year's Day.
Right, New Year's Day. So Mans was working out from since last year August, eating healthy, changing up my lifestyle.
Facts, we love a healthy king.
Yeah.
So the last couple weeks in the year, I was like, you know what? I ain't drinking a while.
Come on, treat yourself.
Treat yourself. I need a little KFC in a while. So
That one.
KFC on New Year's Day?
I know,
no,
but
no, wait, this is
Okay.
You're
I'll
not
let you go.
seeing it.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bad. Rushing the brush.
So that last week leading up, going to different little house parties,
Yeah.
friends events,
Yeah.
these little Christmas
This
things.
is in Trinidad or in Tobago?
Tobago.
Okay.
This was before I moved.
Okay.
Leading up to that, Old Year's Day,
Mm-hmm.
that was the day I ate the KFC. I was like, you know what, let me end it just to say, go wild.
Last day.
Last day. What could go wrong? KFC came.
no.
lunchtime.
First of all, the fact that KFC is wilding out for you, that speaks.
Yeah.
Volumes.
That's enough for me.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I ain't eat it in a while. So let me treat yourself. Like, what could go wrong, as I say? So lunchtime, eat it. I realized after an hour, I started to feel upset.
Bubble guts.
Like physically sick.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, this usually would happen if I eat anything fried. And if I didn't eat it in a while. Day progress, still feeling sick. Take some meds, rest, still feeling sick. Was supposed to go out. Plans had to change.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling good at all. Took some meds, kind of feel okay, went to bed. Woke up January 1st, 2024, feeling lightheaded, feeling weak. I said, okay, Terrell. Walk up by the shop and buy a coconut water and a little multi-symptom to shake up yourself.
Yeah.
So on my way back home, there's just like a ledge by my aunt's restaurant.
Big flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even just like, oh, my aunt just has a restaurant.
Yeah.
Sorry, wait.
But yeah, sitting on the ledge to catch myself. The only thing I remember is just coming through in the drain on the side of my cousin's car.
Oh.
I didn't know when I faint. And it's coming through. My aunt saw me across the road and she ran across and pulled me up. Fainted in her hand again.
Yeah.
Got rushed up to the hospital. Long story short, got warded for like about 3 days for internal bleeding because it was that serious. All the things I wasn't supposed to be eating, plus the KFC, plus about 3 or 4 days before that, I did a 5K walk.
Right.
And took some meds that I wasn't supposed to take because of my stomach. That I think was that and the KFC. Messed up everything, and that just caused some internal bleeding.
How does internal bleeding happen? Like
It's almost kind of like
You can quite literally. You could get hit and get into
yeah, but I think about getting hit, but he didn't get hit.
But
ate
because of the
food and
medication
took
and everything,
medication.
it affects parts of my
If you don't eat
upper.
properly, the medication can start eating your stomach line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So all
I
of that.
was trying to graph
happened.
like how does it Like if it's like this, it has to open up for it to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You
Like
know,
certain medication, they call them NSAIDs. So, like, pain and muscle relaxers and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be taking those at
Oh,
all.
okay.
So, like, with those things, yeah, that just messed up my entire month of January. Thankfully, I'm healthy now. Healthy-ish. That I could actually come on your podcast now.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, now I feel horrible for pressuring you to come on the podcast.
Oh, no. It
Only
was the right time. Listen, for the last 2 years, I've been
I
pressured.
literally have been like, Terrell has been ducking me.
Meanwhile,
Not to-
buddy's struggling for internal bleeding.
I'm struggling for my life.
Life.
And you want me to talk on a podcast? But
Yeah.
I'm here.
So tell us, how has it been growing up in Tobago? Because
You get judged?
yeah,
As a what, like a creative?
I have no idea.
Anyways, oh, I don't even know where they're coming up from. At this point.
So, as a Tobago creative,
What is
I
life
mean,
like?
it is hard not to be a creative from Tobago because, I mean, primary school, kindergarten, high school, depending on the high school that you went to,
Yeah.
there was always something to do, whether it was performing arts, visual arts. It was always something to do.
Yeah.
So for me, growing up, it's so funny. I found them the other day. About 15 certificates that I got from preschool graduation.
1-5.
Yeah,
All right, overachiever.
literally that. Overachiever. Best performance in music, art, dance. I can't even remember dancing in preschool. Some of the subjects, they had another breakdown for arts again. So it was like a lot of that. And then when I went to primary school, that primary school, big up Scarborough RC, they had a perfect balance between academics and extracurricular activities. You had to be involved in both. If you didn't like it, you had to be involved in both.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was everything from visual arts to dancing, choral speaking. That's what you call it? Well, public speaking.
You all had public speaking in primary school?
Yeah. So like I remember I had to do a presentation
Nah,
for.
should have any fire from young.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Like they literally
Wow.
prepped you for a lot of things. So I
My
had
primary
to.
school we just focus. I see you coming up. We had to get.
No,
we had to
we were
get some
serious
top
about that.
students. We had to get some top students. We really care about all this public maths, English, creative writing, drill.
They were doing that as well too, but you had to
Yeah.
be on top with the arts as well too, because like for public speaking, I had to do a presentation for Republic Day where I had to act as, I think it was President George Maxwell Richards. It was a whole skit, me walking with security in the back, walking into the church, walking up to the pulpit to do the speech and all these kind of things. I remember my mom was fed up because it was 2 weeks of me doing the speech in the mirror, doing it for the whole family, everybody coming to make sure I nailed it.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of those things. Graduated primary school as the most outstanding performing arts student.
Nice.
So I was always involved in everything. As it relates to visual arts, I wouldn't say anybody in my family was like an artist. My mom used to draw when she was in high school, and when she used to go to art classes after. When she used to work, I have a young mom, and I would always kind of trace everything that she did. And quickly just drawing and doodling was almost kind of like I don't want to say like a mental escape, but like my me time where if I was going to church, my grandmama always had to have a notebook or an exercise book in her bag because I had to be drawing.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to sleep, draw before I go to sleep. That was a ritual for me. Eventually, we talk about preschool, primary school. High school was a little bit different because the high school I
When the
went
drugs
to,
started. Okay.
Mom, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, high school, when I got to high school, my high school was pretty much the opposite of primary school, where they were just strictly focused on academics.
Yeah.
The art program, while it was good, it wasn't the best. And over those 5 years, I kind of lost touch of that artist side. It wasn't until like the last what form was that? Yeah, Form 4 and Form 5, I discovered graphic design. Just me being fast. Two of my friends at the time, they were just making some cool shit in Photoshop, some graphics and all these kind of things. And I was like, this is interesting. I wonder if I could play around with this thing and see what could come from it.
Yeah.
Not thinking I'm going to be a graphic designer or all these kind of things.
Yeah.
It just looked cool. I wanted to learn how to do it. I just mess around with it. So quickly learned, got a copy of Photoshop. This was Photoshop CS3? Yeah, CS3.
Anytime anybody tell you anything about Photoshop and they say CS,
And
just know. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, nah.
I can't wink with that eye. Huh?
Man is that one man in the scene here. But yeah, it literally that would have been like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I still in what is that right? Where is that 8-year-old normally?
What?
Where is that 8-year-old? Is that primary?
They have me feeling real old, boy.
What school is that 8-year-old in? Primary, right?
School, yeah.
Primary school, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what form or grade that is, but yeah.
Interesting.
I'm
Interesting.
just a baby.
Standard.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Some schools call it forms.
Secondary school call it forms.
Secondary?
No, some schools,
Primary school?
some primary schools call it standards forms.
In Trinidad and Tobago?
In the local
Private.
Trinidad, huh?
Private?
It might be private, yeah.
Okay, that would make sense.
But I know I heard it one time. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Not sounding
Well,
correct.
that's something strange, but if that's what you're
Interesting.
it wasn't me, but I know it exists.
Okay. Interesting.
You know something every day. But yeah,
But yeah, got a copy of that CS3. Even though my brethren was posting to give me a copy of it, I would see a copy of it. Got that, started playing around, and around this time, there was a online community of creatives both in Trinidad and Tobago just forming on Facebook. So they would have like weekly competitions on the Facebook group. So like they would throw out design contests. Men would just like create different graphics based on a different team.
what we
topic.
competing for though?
It's just to see likes and all those kind of things.
Oh.
So it was just like that was my first introduction into the
Creative space.
creative space
Right.
in Trinidad and Tobago, and getting to learn some of the key players, because this was like when some of the top photographers in Trinidad and Tobago right now, they were doing graphics, and a lot of people wouldn't know that. Some of the top videographers right now. So that was like my introduction into knowing persons in the space and seeing how you could actually make a career out of being a creative. So that was like 2010. I graduated in 2011. After graduating, I was like, okay, there's this one thing I know that I could do good.
Yeah.
Where the hell am I going to find a job doing this now? Because to me, after I left primary school, I knew I wanted to be a creative. But in my mind, I thought I was going to become like an animator or something, because I was always drawing and doodling little characters and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
But at that time, I wasn't thinking about all the top schools and where I had to go. I didn't really have anybody in the space that I could have talked to kind of give that guidance in terms of how to go down that path.
Yeah, especially in somewhere like Tobago. I feel like it's so small that
They have persons in this field. So like one of the main persons I always looked up to, who I think most persons know, and he would have reached a point in his career that a lot of young creatives in Trinidad and Tobago could look up to, is Sikani Solomon. I'm not sure if you all know
I don't know.
Sikani Solomon. He is the I'm not sure what is his exact title, but he
You can spell Sekani for me?
Sekani.
Solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to like Google him. I
Yeah.
was going on the gram, but
But the man's
okay.
the resume long and big. He
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I found it now. I was like, why does he not have an Instagram? Okay, I see it. It's nice. Oh.
Yeah, like he was literally the first person that I knew from the Tobago. Yeah. You see?
We watching the same thing, right? The renders?
Yeah, scroll all the way down to.
And I hear you there.
Scroll all the way down.
So anything
You'll
that you
see
see
it.
for Cash App
You'll see it.
or Block is him.
Cash App.
Wait, you see? You know which one I'm talking about?
Well, you said hello for. Hold on. I wonder if I can guess it.
Hold on. Keep going. Scroll on.
Okay.
Is
I
it
see
Cash?
Cash App Square?
Wait, which one?
Tidal?
No, wait. I think you're going
Right.
on. Wait.
Don't sleep on Tobago creatives.
Wait.
That's all I could say.
You see?
Hold on.
You see,
Hold on. What's up? I didn't see. Hold on. I'm still scrolling.
it have one that should stop here.
You know, I'm going to people. Hold on.
Hold on.
Well, I feel like you said this was your mentor or something?
Nah, but like the first person I knew in this space that was excelling as a creative professional from Tobago.
Right after the wedding stuff.
Man, hold on. I was marking the wedding thing too.
Okay. You ain't reached it yet. You should see it. RB.
Where you at? You said right from the wedding stuff? Star Wars?
Okay, I feel you're going past it. Go up. RB racing. Go up.
Hold on. I was
That's
marking
what stopped me in
everything
my
else.
tracks. I was like, wait, hold on.
Sorry. Alright, big up Sekani.
Yeah. RB? You see when it?
I still haven't reached there. I'm going back up.
You want to show me it up on the iPad?
It's in between the wedding and I see the Black Lives.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fine. Yeah, sorry, you were talking.
Yeah, but he like was the first person from Tobago that I saw really excelling as a creative professional, not just locally but internationally.
Yeah, not really.
So that was like, okay, yeah, I could take this thing bigger than just my little bubble of Tobago or even the bubble of Trinidad and Tobago. And I was like, okay, Terrell, let's see what you could do with this graphic thing. Applied as a OJT.
Yeah.
Fun fact, and a lot of people don't know this, like the first place that OJT had placed me was in a print shop. So I was tinting cars, making number plates, creating banners, and graphics. End up leaving after about 3 weeks because it is not because the work was hard, but the workspace was a little bit toxic.
Okay.
And I was like,
But that was in Tobago.
yeah.
Okay. How long that OJT process? Because I know that your OJT takes long.
Yeah, it literally when I had applied, I took a gap year after I graduated. I shouldn't say a gap year, like a few months off after graduating.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been like the September, October. I was like, yeah, Terrell, I just can't stay home not doing anything.
Yeah.
Sent out the application. Thankfully, the OJT office wasn't too far from home. So went in, dropped in the applications, and I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks later I got the call back to come to do the
So they
orientation.
lightning fast.
Yeah, it wasn't.
People waiting years.
Yeah, when I heard that story of people waiting years, I was like, Jesus. I was like, thank you, God. So got called back, did the orientation and the training process, then got placed by that place doing the tinting and all these kind of things. That was a fun experience, but toxic work environment. And eventually they shifted me to our RHA in Tobago, Regional Health Authority Tobago. And they placed me in the communications unit. And I think at that point, that would have been...
That was also OJT that...
Yeah. So I was at OJT for... That was 2 years? Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
Working in the communications unit. I remember my first day, the manager was like, so what you like doing? I told her that primarily into doing graphic design and all these kind of things. She was like, well, we do have the best software, the best system for you to use. The computer was a HP computer, and the only software on the system was Publisher, and I think they had a copy of Illustrator, but at that time I didn't know how to use Illustrator.
Yeah. So, what would what would working for the ROJ?
I don't like Sakani, by the way.
Jabari's like, yeah.
You finally saw it. You saw it.
Yeah, and also the Red Bull thing. Working with the enemy.
And it's public enemy number 1.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's fine. He cool. This is real nice though.
No, he is a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast.
So,
I know when he pressed render, he had to leave the computer for like 5 days. You're like, yo, Leah, I'm gonna go take a break.
Nah, and then like even if you go back and do a deep dive on his like older work, it's like
No, it looks real good.
yeah.
Man is like
I was like, this doesn't even make any sense. So like, why are you now why does it look like you now starting off, but it looked like you've been doing this for like 10 years right before.
because men used to vex when he entered the competition. Like when he drop a piece, he's like, all right,
I vexed too.
we done. You done take it, you done win. But nah, it was real.
Nah, I vex too, for sure.
But I will never forget that time in that same competition where, you know, your boy now starting graphics, he feeling himself, thinking it's the best thing out there.
Yeah.
I
Now you
can
can look
talk.
back on it now.
I cringe every time I think about it, but I think it was a pivotal moment when this happened. So your boy went on Just True Talk on Facebook and I was like, the best graphic designer in Trinidad and Tobago right now. Who tell me going to say that? I remember Sikani commenting. I don't even think he remember this. Commenting below it and was like, "You need to humble yourself." At that point, I was like, "Say less," and I always kept that to this day. It was like, "Terrell, humble yourself."
Yeah.
But that was just like the Sagittarius side of me just acting out on that day. But yes, back to your question with the
so
RJ.
like, what like you were like what creating like public notices? I don't know like what graphic outside of like notices, like I don't really know.
What we did. So pretty much it was education based type promotional material. So brochures for the different so some of the wards,
Like
departments in health.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like mental health, what else we were creating? Primarily mental health. So if maternity wanted something for, let's say, certain programs that they had, different outpatient programs that the outpatient clinic would have had, so just creating those things, different signage. That was the bulk of the design work. I really push Microsoft Publisher to the limits to what I could create
Yeah.
until I was like, yeah.
Y'all need to change this system.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even think, if I remember correctly, I don't think they got Photoshop. And that's why I had to kind of force myself to kind of learn how to do certain things in Illustrator.
Okay.
And if I wanted to create something in particular, I would just kind of like walk with my laptop. And granted, at the time I wasn't supposed to do that, but
Yeah.
I wanted to get something done properly.
Mhm.
But during that time as well, too, that was a pivotal moment for me career-wise. Still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. That's when I started to fall in love with corporate communications.
Okay.
So, joined TRHA in 2012, 2013. I had applied to SCADA. I'm not sure if you're all familiar with SCADA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Savannah
SCADA.
College of Art and Design. After same Sikani went to there, and a lot of local artists, graphic designers.
This is in Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's one of the top art and design colleges in the world. And applied 2013, didn't get in. Real heartbroken.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the end of my creative career. That is it for me. Nothing, because locally I wasn't seeing anything on the scene that matched what I wanted to do graphic wise.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I needed to go to UE to do in visual arts. Looking back on it, I should have, but I'm glad I didn't, because that led me to apply.
What did you think that you missed if you went to UE?
At that time, being exposed to or seeing what creatives like Sikani and other local creatives were doing at SCAD and the connections and the opportunities that they were getting.
Yeah.
I didn't believe I was going to get that type of exposure if I studied locally.
Yeah, 'cause I was not gonna say. I feel like something creative wise, you're really going for the connections that you.
That's the thing.
'Cause
That's the thing.
although you may not directly meet someone, the lecturer who may have studied outside may know connections. Like, hey, I'm putting
Exactly.
connection with somebody outside.
Yeah, so it wasn't so much the learning experience.
Yeah.
It was just more so the getting that exposure to those different networks. So I was like, you know what? All right, where's plan B? I can't sit down and cry or get upset about this thing all the time. Where's the plan B? So thankfully, again, I was living in the heart of Scarborough in Tobago, and Custard was like a 5-minute drive away from home. So I was like, after work, let me go and see what courses Custard have. Somebody told me that they actually have a graphic design program.
Yeah.
I was like, let me go and see what their graphic design program is like. Went up to Custard, they were like, yes, we have a graphic design program, but it is only offered in the Trinidad campus.
Yeah.
I was like, at that time, I wasn't ready to move to Trinidad. That was the furthest thing from my mind. So I was like, okay, where's the next best thing that they have? So she was like, she gave me a flyer with all the programs. I saw the Associate in Journalism and Public Relations. And I was like, I have no intentions of being a journalist or somebody in PR, but is media kind of close to graphics in a sense?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I thought when I went to do.
But I was like, you know what? I also working in corporate communications, building something in that.
Yeah.
PR. I was like, you don't know what could come from it, so just apply. And it's like right there from home.
Yeah.
Did it, applied, and I'm glad I did because that is what created photographer Terrell.
Right.
So doing that program and even working in Corcoms, I'm very particular about the type of things that I create, and I want things to look a particular way. That is what I'm learning today because of therapy that I have unresolved or untreated OCD, but another conversation.
I didn't make it treat that.
Huh?
I didn't make it treat that.
I didn't. You can manage it.
You said untreated.
Yeah.
So that
I didn't
sounds
know
like
I have
you
OCD.
could treat it.
I had the trace, but I didn't discuss it because, like, I actually I have anxiety, clinically diagnosed anxiety, but I had other things as well too that I didn't even know. But we'll get back to that.
Okay.
So I like things looking a particular way. So I know the department, one of the communications assistants, she was also the photographer within the unit. Her work was good, but I wanted things to look a particular way for the brochures. So I was like, let me just pick up the camera. She had the department had a Nikon D90 ancient. So I was like, let me just pick it up. Also, at the time, our assistant manager, she was like, a cycle for UE photography certificate program coming up. If you want to go and learn how to do it. She was like, I was like, yeah, no scene, send me. So started taking pictures, shooting at events, starting to like photography. All this time I started the journalism and public relations course, learning more about the media space and all these kind of things. I was like, new timeline.
Yeah.
Deviating from graphic design or visual arts Terrell. Now we're creating this timeline for photographer Terrell. That's skyrocketed into something that I didn't expect. And I think most people in this space here know photographer Terrell versus graphic design Terrell.
Yeah.
Because I was much more public with my photography work.
Yeah.
But around that period, this would have been 2013 to 2016. Heavily involved in just like strictly photojournalism. I was just in love with photojournalism. And I had a short stint as a photojournalist for some publications in Tobago. Some work picked up by some local magazines. Did some cover things for politicians. that was just like, I felt in that period is like I was in
Light
the
flex?
backseat. I mean, looking back on it now, it's like, okay, Terrell, you could flex on your little photography portfolio, but it was like, I wasn't really present anytime, if I'm being honest. It was just like things were just happening, and I was just going along for the ride.
Right.
Because again, I didn't have any intentions of being a big photographer or being this professional, being this out there. And long story short, I think it got to the point where I literally had to pull the plug. And I was like, I can't do this photography thing and do this graphic design thing because two completely different aesthetics.
Yeah.
And with the photography thing, that transitioned from me doing more photojournalism into editorial, portrait photography, and street photography. And I was doing that for fun. But that in itself then deviated into becoming a profession where people would be calling me to do the engagement shoots, birthday shoots, all these kind of things. Again, no intention of doing all those things, but I was just going along for the ride.
Yeah.
But I think as looking back, what made me pull the plug was I hated when it started to feel like a chore, or the business side of things started to come into play and it was no longer fun anymore for me.
Yeah, I get that.
So I was like, yeah, this was 2018, pull the plug. Was just strictly doing like mobile stuff at the time. I didn't want to do any client work and everything, and I kind of went back to the graphic design timeline. So fast forward after leaving the RHA, when started my first job as a graphic designer. All this time, the photography timeline happening as well too. And I think when I left my first job as a designer after a year and went into freelance, I think that gave me the room to experiment and kind of develop an identity to some sense to see art. I could brand myself as a graphic designer and a photographer at the same time. So that is the early backstory of Terrell George for now.
Yeah. Well, you've worked with like, I guess a couple of you have a full-time job now, right?
Yes, a full-time contract. I wouldn't call it a job because I'm not necessarily employed.
Okay.
But it's almost like a independent contractor.
But you have to be in-house, no?
No.
No? But you were in-house today, no?
No.
Oh, when you said you're coming from work,
Work from home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you said you're coming from work, I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's not a problem.
Nah. Work from home.
Also, you've been freelance for...
Yeah. So since the beginning of
is it 2018?
No, 2020.
2020.
When I was freelancing officially from 2016 up until 2018, sorry. That's when I started the job at Tobago festivals.
Right.
And then pandemic hit in 2020 and I had to work from home.
Right.
Because high risk because of health issues.
Yeah.
So since 2020, I've just been working from home. Granted, I would have ran through maybe, I think I had 2 or 3 different jobs between 2020 to now.
Okay.
But 2023, I kind of went back into pushing myself almost like a independent contractor, consultant.
Yeah.
Versus saying freelancing.
Right.
Well then, what was the move from Tobago about then if you just could work from home?
So the move that was... What prompted that? So once I kind of started positioning myself within the space, networking and everything, I kind of get a clearer sense of who I was as a creative professional.
Yeah.
I realized things that I wanted to do or cross off my bucket list as a designer and the things that I wanted to do, I could not do it from Tobago or just being there full time. So I started networking, collaborating with persons like Richard, another friend of mine, Ricolia, and just networking with their clients. They collaborating and just building that network and as I like to call it, a little community within ecosystem.
Yeah.
And quickly, most of my personal clients or projects started to come from Trinidad. And over the last 2 or 3 years, I would be back and forth for certain projects.
Yeah, I feel like you're coming here like weekly, right?
Yeah, because like even when you saw me, I think we were on track reads and somebody hailed me and I was like, who the hell hailed me out?
Yeah.
And it's when you messaged me and I was like, you, and I think this was around the same time you were asking me to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yep.
So just being back and forth, I kind of cemented myself here, not full time, but part time, and just traveling back and forth. It wasn't until this year, I was actually supposed to move last year, but the challenge was finding a affordable, pet-friendly apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't leaving with my dog, without my dog.
Right.
And I was like, all right, it's showing up. 2023, that's when I got the opportunity to work with Tourism Trinidad. Thankfully, that was a remote thing, so I could have worked from home, but I would come in if there's certain things I need to come into the office, just fly across and all these kind of things. But in the back of my mind, I was like, it would make sense to move just in the event that a full-time opportunity come up, and that are already here. So I've always been looking, but at the same time, not really looking. Fast forward to this year, after the whole New Year's situation happened, where I was in Tobago in the family home, it was going through like a transitionary period because that house, after my grandmom died, she had willed it to my uncle, but he wasn't ready to move in, so I was just the only person in that house for a few months, but he was ready to move, and it was like, I didn't have to go because I had my own space and everything, but I was like, yeah, I got accustomed to living by myself. To go and live with people again, it's like, So I said, all right, if a pet-friendly place comes up in either Tobago or Trinidad, I'm going to take it. So luckily enough, something came up in Trinidad. So it, let's say like the Monday, flew down the Saturday to view it, slept on it, prayed on it, and Monday I put in an offer. And 2 or 3 weeks later, made a move. So I've just been here. Granted, to this date, majority of my clients for Cobalt is, I have still recurring clients from Tobago, but majority of the bigger things that I'm working on are based in Trinidad.
Right.
Can you tell us about Cobalt?
So Cobalt is the child that I'm currently neglecting. That was my design agency that I started in 2016 when I decided to go on my own. Officially registered it in 2018, but Cobalt had went through a myriad of different names because like with me, it had to settle on something.
Yeah.
But Cobalt Blue is like one of my favorite colors, so I was like, you know what, it trendy, it sounds cool, I can do this. Cobalt Blue Communications. So Cobalt is essentially my design consultancy that also does content creation, photography, all these kind of things, but primarily focuses on design. But because of the pandemic, plus my own anxiety and grief and everything, I really wasn't in a good headspace to really give it my all.
Yeah.
And in that time period, I was like, I actually prefer to work for somebody else. And over the years, working in the corporate space in Trinidad and Tobago and the public sector, people always ask me if I'm crazy, but I generally like working in the public sector. So I was like, you know what? I'm not ready to be an entrepreneur. Let me work, and I would still have my clients, but I would not push Cobalt in a big way until I was in a good enough headspace to do that. But Cobalt is still around, not public, and since I've started doing design professionally, I don't think I had to, this is not like a flex, but advertise, because most of the clients, or 100% of the clients, were just like referrals.
Right.
From me working and networking with persons within the corporate spaces, just networking, meeting friends, and all these kind of things, has just been strictly referrals to this day.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how do you get work? Because I don't see you like post much like it is what's going on. I mean, like, I see how stuff happens here. Like, you know, it just kind of, it literally just goes from one thing to another thing. But I guess I'm speaking because in my, I guess, photography journey, it's not like, I feel like I don't really get too much referrals. Or maybe like people talk about me, but I wouldn't get the referral until like months after or something.
Right.
You know? So that's what I was thinking about, like, if you don't post as much, like, how do you get work?
So, thankfully, I had over the years, since 2018, had the security blanket of a day job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to push as much as I should. So when it came to like my personal clients and everything, again, it was, and it's always something I would always tell a lot of creatives is like, yes, your talented would get you through the door, but your work ethic is what going to keep you there, and people going to remember you by.
Yeah.
So throughout the years, working in the agency, working in the RHA corporate spaces, building a good network of people that I work with, so let's say managers or department heads who would have their own personal business, they would see how I worked on a particular project or interacted with them, and they would keep me in mind for their own personal things, or if they knew somebody doing something. And that is how I kind of started building my clientele. And it's just like referrals after referrals in Tobago. That is kind of like just how it has been, thankfully. Eventually, those referrals, as I grew and there was growth within my own personal and professional development, the network started to expand to different spaces. And I was meeting different people who had, I wouldn't say deeper pockets, but...
When you say meeting these people, like, how are you meeting them? Like, is it...
Through work. So I would leverage the day job and the people that
so
I meet
yo,
in the
you'd
day
be
job.
like, oh, that person that's walking in the I'm going to
Yeah.
talk to them on my own.
And it wasn't even like talking to them, but they would just see how I work and operate.
And then they might pull you aside and just
Be like, hey, I have this thing I'm working
Yeah.
on. I could get a contact to work on this and all these kind of things.
Okay.
So it has just kind of been like me not necessarily...
going out and looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
from your work ethic and your work,
people
spoke
taking
for
notes
itself.
of that and just taking notes, and that's how the referrals and everything just started to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Living in Trinidad, what would you say are some misconceptions people have had, or you have seen people have about people in Tobago?
I was gonna ask something too, like along those lines. I can't remember.
Nah.
You answer that. I'll
All right.
type it down.
To be quite honest, in certain spaces, and this would have been before I moved officially, but like if I'm down here or with other friends from Tobago, you would hear the comments, the Tobago crew, the Tobago this and all this kind of. You always have to label Tobago.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say that's it was like an insult or any kind of thing, but you couldn't just say creative or all these kind of things. And then they would comment stuff like, we didn't know Tobago have this creative communities,
space,
or they're doing all this such a good work, or all these creators, or we always think you're from Trinidad, or other creators that they would see doing good work, they always assume that they're from Trinidad.
Yeah.
And I had to be like, persons in our space would be like, no, we literally have
a healthy creative space and
a big and booming space in Tobago. Yes, it may not be as big as Trinidad, but, and I'm talking it big, most of the best creatives in Trinidad and Tobago reside in Tobago. And I'm talking it big. Yeah. It's just that most of them don't have the opportunities or platforms to really kind of go there.
push that.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
But I think that is a mindset thing.
What do you mean by a mindset thing?
It depends on what you want at the end of the day, because if you want
to push it and take it to that level,
you could do, because like for me, if I want to do certain things, but I could do it from the comfort of Tobago.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, oh, I need to be successful. If I need to be successful, I need to move to Trinidad.
Yeah.
You could do it right from home. So it was just like little underneath comments and things you will hear people say. But now the space, a lot of the creatives, let's say photographers, videographers, people now start to see their work because they start to enter some of these spaces here now.
Yeah.
And they be like, oh, we really can't play with Tobago at all, because you're starting to see some beasts come out of this space as well too now.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I was my question was referring to, I guess, when you had more Tobago clients, and I guess also having clients from Trinidad as well too. Is it that you think that, I'm not saying that you did allude to this at all, I'm just asking in general, do you think that maybe clients in Tobago are quicker to pay for like something with a higher ticket, potentially because the work is better and because this pool is a little bit smaller, where maybe like in Trinidad they might like beat you down on price a little bit more because they kind of know like I could probably throw a stone and find a nice graphic designer.
The usual. Surprisingly, it's the same thing on both islands.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's a global thing.
Yeah,
they get any fight down same way, depending on, because especially when it comes to graphic design.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, people still view it as you just go on the computer and you can do something.
For sure.
You post.
You just
the
tell
basics.
Photoshop to make it and it makes it, right?
You think that, but you still have to create a prompt. But anyways.
But Canva right there, I could.
But at the same time, it's like, cool, if you want to do that. That was just like my mindset. So like, if you're fighting on the price, I'm not going to chase you to...
You're not going to just try to...
Yeah, and I mean, at that time I was undercharging with certain things looking back now, but for me, it was always... I am big on mental health, and I do like stress, unnecessary stress.
Right.
So if you fighting on and you don't want to think with it, cool, go buy somebody else. I'm not fighting it down. I was privileged enough to say that because I had that security blanket of a day job.
Yeah. The day job was the same graphic design.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So it was like, I didn't have to run down
Right.
clients and all these kind of things. But with the clients that I did eventually build, again, some of them stem from the day job. They, because of my process in terms of walking them through, or like even my onboarding process for design clients, it's not like you just message me and we get work done. If it's a recurring client, I kind of have understanding of it, so you don't have to go through that onboarding process every single time. But like for newer clients, I kind of use that as like a filter to filter out them bad or quote unquote bad clients.
Yeah, like you need to have an idea of what the project is.
Yeah, I need to know.
People that message me and they're like, "Hey, I want to do a shoot. How much it would cost? What is the shoot? Who are we shooting for?
Where?
Do you want 100 images?
How many images?
Do you want 2 images? Do you want to shoot for 5 hours? Do you want to shoot for 1 hour? Does it need to be done in 10 minutes? Because I need to know the workload."
Exactly.
Somebody messaged me and I was like, they're like, I had to shoot this amount of stuff in a 1 hour. And I was like, I think we'll need like 2. Like I could probably fit it in 2. Like I could push for the 1, but 2 is to be safe.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, but also how many images do you want? Like, let me know more about the project. And he's like, don't worry, thanks. I'm like,
the usual. Before they go here. Yeah.
I'm not fighting you down for this, you know. I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah. Because you see, the thing is, I always say, you have a lot of patience, especially with persons within this space here, because they literally don't know.
Yeah.
And I used to get vexed in the early days because
when people say if AI gonna take our jobs, I'm like, some of these clients don't even know what they want. They can't
exactly.
Even, they can't
you
prompt.
Can't prompt. You can't
prompt if you don't know what you want.
Basically. So I'm like, I ain't not even worried about that, because I was like, you know what, Terrell? Early in the days when I realized people didn't know what they want or how the process was, I used to literally had to like sit with clients, do a consultation, and be like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to achieve X, but you need to do some homework before you could achieve X.
Yeah.
Yes, you may not know what you want, but let's create some questionnaires, ask you some questions, see what you need, look at some references, and that had become an integral part of my creative process to always have those conversations. And one of the tricks that I learned from working in the public sector, because you had to learn to read between the lines.
Okay.
Because you would get, let's say, like a secretary or a senior management person or a minister or somebody saying, I don't like that. And that's all you're going to get.
Why I don't like it?
You're not going to get that response. You're not going to get it. And it's years of me having
So
to
from
learn.
something like that, when you would have first gotten your face, you don't like that, what was your thought process? Is it that you instantly like, okay, scrap everything, start again, or
Nah, I
is
literally...
it like move some stuff around and see if
That was the thing. So that... It was really and truly understanding the person. Because I quickly realized that is... A little bit of psychology had to come into play.
yeah.
We had to really and truly understand the individual, what
Yeah.
they're like, if it's just like observing like their social media, how they do certain things, really observing those kind of things. All right, if Jabari, Minister of Design,
I like that.
is somebody who's a minimalist,
Mm-hmm.
that's his personal aesthetic. You know, definitely the work needs to be a lot more cleaner, simple, and all these kind of things. And it's just like through trial and error, you start to understand their aesthetic and even other management level, because, you know, it's multiple people making different decisions.
Yeah.
And you really have to listen, because sometimes in the public sector, it's equal part people who are a little bit more traditional versus they are like the younger generation who are a lot more contemporary or modern. So it's really and truly, sometimes you would end up with some designs that is like a mishmash of different styles and these kind of things. It used to bother me, but I've kind of gotten to a point where it's like, I could take the L on this.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not that important. It used to scare me like when I see the work out in the wild, but I've gotten to realize it's like, it's not done. Like, I would literally avoid work when I see billboards or artwork.
And you were like, ooh.
That I would cringe. Like, they were literally up to last year. It was something that I did. I was like, I didn't see it, and it was all over Trinidad. And I was like, Jesus Christ. But I was like, you know what? I'm at the point where it's like, you know what? It's not that serious.
Yeah. This is what they ask for. Bro.
Yeah. It's not that serious, Terrell. Don't even worry about it. Nobody ain't gonna study, because like
The
my
client
big,
happy, my pocket happy.
that is
it's
what matter.
okay.
I
Terrell, you
do
do this?
understand.
I actually, I don't know if I'll make this or not, but
I go find out.
I can find out. I'm gonna let you know. And I was always saying, you know what? I do have to post it. I do have to put it in my portfolio.
Yeah.
It the way it's supposed to do. The client's happy at the end of the day. That is the mindset that I have now.
But who do this graphic? Why looking so on you?
Boy.
Every corner like,
Boy, and my biggest concern is be like, is not so much the public, you know, it's like other creators or other people in the space be like,
how do you go do that?
It's like,
Them really had somebody was you that like, and you there like,
imagine we go to another blank space. It's
I
like,
want-
dog, you see that poster coming on the road? Horrible.
I hush in my mouth and saying
So I was
nothing.
like, I know, right?
That do great real shit, boy. But no. But you had to kind of separate. It's for the last 4 or 5 years, kind of separate myself from the work
It's
that.
like,
Yeah.
this is job me and then
Yeah. So I don't have to take like feedback, those bad feedback and all those kind of thing. Personally, it's like, okay, it's have changes, because like I would see some of my coworkers, like if they get feedback or something is urgent or last minute, they would little chuckle or be nervous thinking that they got upset me, and I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll move on, because I'm not taking it personal, because I don't want to say I know the game now, but
Yeah.
it's like our understanding
yeah.
of what to come.
what I guess is what is like a design process, like if you have to do, I guess, a logo or something like that for like a company. I don't know what you mainly do, like on a day-to-day basis. A logo is just the thing that came to my head.
So I have 2 designers in my head. So designer for Cobalt,
Yeah.
strictly specialized in visual identity design, so logos, branding, and everything for small businesses and corporate identity to some extent for certain clients. But day job, mostly the masses and everything, I have to be a generalist. I don't like being a generalist, so like designing party flyers and all those kind of things, books, brochures and those kind of things. I used to do it in the past, but my own personal specialization is in identity design.
All right.
So my process is a little bit chaotic. Meet with the client, do the onboarding process, all seeing everything, meet with them, get information on the brief, and this is where
I started up a water company. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you're starting the water company.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This is me.
Meet with you, be professional, sitting, asking all the nice, right questions, all these kind of things, going through the entire process. Get home, debrief. I had to go and lie down. Literally, I had to go and lie down. After I not start. So let's say the project is for like about a month.
Yeah.
We will do the onboarding and everything in week 1. Week 2, I had to lie down. I had to lie down.
Yeah. Right.
I had to lie down and absorb it. Pull up my phone, go on Pinterest and start a mood board. Put on Pinterest, lie down again. The beginning of week 3, that is when I start sketching and everything. Sketch some ideas, let's say the Monday, lie down the Tuesday, Wednesday. Add the rest. Leave it alone. Get inspired, actually open up Illustrator and start doing some of these sketches, realizing this ain't working, this ain't looking good. Start to freak out.
Yeah.
You only have a week to deliver for the
Do you
client.
sketch in color?
No, strictly black and white.
Okay.
Realize,
you have a little period of mental breakdown time.
yeah, that is, and that is an important part of the process, because if that breakdown ain't happen, I know I'm not onto something.
Right.
Yeah.
So once we done break out and start to freak out about deadlines and I ain't having no ideas or any kind of thing, eventually I mellow out. By the grace of God, something ends up working out. Get something good that I'm happy with. Client is happy, and then we move on.
Okay. How much, I guess, logos or whatever are you submitting for them?
So back in the day when I had started, I hated designing logos. I was afraid of designing logos because, to me, I know what went into creating a logo, and at that time, this was like 2016, 2017. I don't think I had that mindset to sit with patients or ask clients all those kind of questions.
Yeah.
But back when I had just started, I used to submit like about 5 or 6 options or concepts, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is either 2 to 3
Okay.
variations of one concept. If I have ideas for other concepts, depending on the client, if it's like a recurring client, I would kind of get them a blind and give them different concepts. But it is 2 to 3 variations of one particular concept, because you want to get this thing in 2-3 weeks. I'm not going through this set a 1,000,001 concepts with you. I
Yeah.
have other things to do. You have other things to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me just focus on a direction and we work and build from there.
Okay. And what are some of the questions that you would ask, like, in the...
Pretty much basic things in terms of like, what are your core values? Well, not your personal, but the business core values. Where do you see the business in how many years? What other businesses inspire you?
See it bigger than Blue Waters.
I said, all right, let me start small and then we could build from there.
Okay.
If you want to be bigger than Blue Waters, if we're talking packaging, you have the resources to elevate your packaging. Do you want to kind of look like, all right, if you want to enter a premium space, do you want to look like a Voss? Do you want to look like a, what's another premium water brand? I wouldn't say Fiji anymore, because Fiji kind of come like...
Yeah, I feel like Fiji kind of died down.
Perrier or S Pellegrino.
Yeah, those brands.
San Pellegrino.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you want to enter that kind of category, there's a lot more beyond just your design.
Actually,
You
I'll
have
take a luxury water, you know. Forget the Blue Waters thing.
You want to be luxury.
Yeah, I
You
want to be a
enter the
luxury water.
space.
But I want to be like a fun luxury, you know?
You have money to divert or put into marketing the business to get into that luxury category.
Yes.
Because there's only so much I could do with the branding. Because
Yes, we have the money to put into the marketing.
fantastic. So let me start the process. Develop an aesthetic that suits your brand. We go through that entire process. develop the look and feel. Most important for persons who want to go into the luxury thing, I always have to do a mood board. Once we settle on the mood board, you like this aesthetic in terms of the colors, the direction in terms of the logo, something that is very minimal or just strictly text-based.
Yeah.
Once you are comfortable with that and I have that in writing, then we can move on from there. Because I've had to deal with clients who are like, well, I didn't really want this in there, but I was like, the receipts, you did say you wanted X, Y, and Z. And they'd be like, oh.
My bad, yo.
So it's like a lot of the times you have to really train clients and constantly remind them that what I'm doing is your request.
Yeah. I guess their feelings and their thoughts change over time. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
you say something how you're feeling in the moment, and then after it's like, I don't really feel the same way, but I didn't update you on that.
Exactly. And it can't, I was always telling them, it can't work like that. Like for me, I don't want to say I'm a bully, but I do have the mental capacity to do the run around things anymore again. I do have
Try
the
to
time and
push
mental
for your
space.
clients to make a concise decision.
Yeah. Yeah, let me get this thing done. And I mean, granted enough, it's only, I've only had like 2 or 3 recent new clients. But the good thing with like the recurring clients that I currently have, I know them inside and out. So they could message me and be like, I want to do some social media ads for the store. Fix up now. So they had a trust in me, like, you fix up. I know the brand already, I know it inside and out, I know what you would want. So I do have to sit down with you and tell me what you want. If you send back and say, I'm not really feeling X, I'll be like, this is when the talk shit level with the clients. I'll be like, what the hell are you feeling?
Yeah.
Is it the color? One of them kind of thing, and it's like, and they be like, yeah, it's the color. I ain't really feeling it. You want me to do something X? Yeah, I like this. And I kind of developed that relationship with them, but with the newer clients, I really and truly, we have to set them boundaries from the beginning. Let we get this job done within a short piece of time that you need to get done.
Okay. Where's the weirdest place you've had an idea for a design?
Catching car to go home.
What?
Understand?
Oh, catching car.
Is it like you pulling it up?
No, literally, I was standing up. It was this would have been for
See the taxi man like, I'm ready to go.
jump in the car, man. Jump in the car.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
I need a pass my pen.
No.
You're like, this idea is worth more than this car right now, so give
But
me
nah.
2 minutes.
Nah, but it was before jumping into the car. It was literally like standing, waiting to catch car to go home in front of Subway. And it was just, I had my headphones in my ears listening to music. I like to people watch to just get like inspiration, just like either for photography and all these kind of things. So it was a fruit stall. I was watching at the colors. And I was like, this would be a real dope palette for this project. And that's how I got the palette for that project I was working on at the same time.
Yeah.
Which was like an ice cream shop.
Okay.
Hey.
And that's usually where most of the ideas will come, like, not when I'm actually at the desk. It's either if I line down or if I'm out and about, I would just start mentally documenting things that I would see and keep it. Like, I could use this for a future product, if anything.
You mentioned waiting for visit Trinidad, and I saw you had done a jersey, I think.
The Ibis.
Yeah. How was? Is it that you're still doing jerseys, or like how's that going?
So, with Tourism Trinidad, that's the actual company.
Okay.
Visit Trinidad is the destination marketing.
Okay.
So
I just know it from Visit Trinidad.
Yeah, that's what everybody would call it. We in the Caribbean space, like if we know something as a particular name, we would call it XYZ. So with that T-shirt, with them, I do like social media stuff, everyday graphics, and merchandise and everything. For me personally, just like with logo design, I love merch.
Yeah.
I love designing merch. And fun fact, with Tourism Trinidad, that was my dream job.
Really?
To design for a tourism board.
Okay.
That was like the last thing on my design list that I wanted to do. And I remember for years I would call because I was working adjacent with the Tobago tourism board, but I was at Tobago festivals and they didn't have a space or opportunity for a graphic designer. But I was like, all right, let me shoot for Trinidad and see what could happen now. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. So I would call, see if they have an opening. No, submit your resume and see what happens. You know the usual things.
Yeah.
So I was like, how I gonna get an opening anytime tourism? But lo and behold, again, another referral
Yeah.
came into play. They needed a designer, somebody who knew me, made a referral, and rest is history. So with the t-shirt now, the merch that I designed for them, I wanted to have some fun. It's a big opportunity. It's going to have a lot of reach. So that one in particular, the Ibis, I had actually posted that on Twitter last week, and it just, you know what has happened when things go on Twitter? It just went in until my supervisor had to message me. He was like, I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet. I was like, yeah, see, these are demand for it. But
look at my commission.
listen.
Everybody's like, I need 5.
No, like everybody calling this girl was in the DM. She was so what do I have to do on the back market to get a copy of this? Like I'm willing to pay like $1,000. I was like,
take it down.
This is not that serious. But it's like
it's just some fabric, guys.
It's like to me, and usually with my work, I don't make a big deal out of my work. It's like it out there.
Ibis. I feel like I saw the Ibis, but I don't know. I can't
go on my Instagram. It
right
pinned
now.
at the top.
I think I saw it and like looking at you, but
I was actually going to wait today, but I was like, nah, that would be a little bit too self-absorbed. That isn't me.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that team in particular, I had that idea to do like a quote-unquote Ibis camo. And I was like, this would be the perfect opportunity to put that design out there. Instead of, I think if I did it on my own, it would not have gotten the reach. And I was
it's pinned on your profile?
Yeah,
Instagram. Yeah.
First?
Yeah.
Is a video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was watching the line drawing and I was like,
Oh, that was merch from when I was
like,
at Tobago Festivals.
Clearly they are blind because this is not an Ibis.
No. But yeah, with that, I had that idea in my mind for years, but I was like...
But how did the process of like getting the material with the Ibis on it?
So that was me just illustrating that print and pattern.
Yeah, you sent it.
And then like
sublimation.
Okay.
You sent it to the oh my gosh. There's companies that are dedicated to just making those patterns and they'll print out on the big sheets and then you just cut it out.
Oh,
well, another company will like cut it out, stitch it.
Okay.
And all local.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Oh,
was
then
that.
you could do that locally though.
Yeah.
I thought you had to.
Yeah, a big rule from
That changes.
No, but with the sublimation printing, I'm not too familiar with it, but I think it's just like once you print on a particular material, because I think the name of the company is...
So this is like an all-around print.
Rossi?
What, Rossi?
Yeah, they do that as well too. So
Okay,
most of
we
these
know them.
jerseys and them kind of thing.
We know them.
Yeah. So like you could, if you want a particular print, you could do that.
Tobago.
Tobago. Tobago.
No.
Oh my god.
This is another bag for you to make.
Tobago.
Tobago.
Tobago. Why would I create a bag called Tobago?
I don't know. I thought I was trying to put you on a good idea, but clearly it's not.
No Jabari.
Okay.
No.
All
we
right.
ain't doing
Well.
that.
All right.
Good attempt.
But what is it? What is it? Tout?
Tobago.
Tobago.
You know
Toot.
what do you call it? Is the patois thing? Tobago. Which means everything or all and everything. In French patois. Only don't quote me on this. But
Nobody's judging you.
that I was actually trying to spell Tobago on a post.
Yeah, you spelled it wrong.
Yeah, spelled it wrong. And I was like, this is on my brain as well. I was like, this is gonna make a real cool tote bag.
Yeah.
So I had some extra fabric from a backdrop that I did for a photo shoot. I was like, carried by these seamstress. They should make it into a tote bag. It
Yeah.
had a guy doing heat press next door. Submit the design and print it. Because like all those merch things I would do for my personal stuff, I eventually want to have my own lifestyle brand called A Nice Day.
Yeah.
But again, still not in that headspace to
Yeah.
become an entrepreneur. So A Nice Day is kind of like it's becoming like a passion project for me, where I would do it as a personal space for me to create and experiment things that I personally like.
Yeah.
And then the merch and the sales part of it will be like a byproduct when it gets to that place.
That's kind of what happened to me. I was in the headspace.
Yeah.
I was making those jerseys and it was going good. I was just like, dog, I just not mentally here to
No.
continue
Because
this and then
I think that's the thing for me with most of the creative passions and things that I have, the minute work starts to come into play, that's when I start to lose interest.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
kind of.
I do want to start back up though, like
I don't
in
mind
August or something.
if one of my friends want to hire me for a job. I don't mind that, but
Yeah.
doing it as a full-time job, like how Jabari does it, I get.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in that space.
It takes a lot out of you, and like with
Oh
photography.
yeah, for sure. I'm very much of the idea now that not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur and a freelancer.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
we need
to be-
mechanics.
Thank you. That's like we need graphic designers in
We
the
need
public
me-
space,
Everybody
the
can't
public
want to be
sector,
an influencer, dog.
or content creator.
We
We
need people to do basic things.
Yeah.
Everybody creating content.
Who's
Who
taking
is
out the
going to
garbage?
fix my car?
But even the mechanics these days doing content now, so it's everybody's a content creator.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, but
you
no.
know, fix the
But
car.
I generally want that to not feel like work again, because like even with photography, I want to get back into it, but I don't want to do it for commissions. Like I want to do more fine art stuff that I was experimenting with. So to do prints, exhibitions, all those fun stuff of being an artist that I used to love and enjoy growing up, versus it being work.
Yeah.
Right.
You said something earlier. Hold on. I put it down on my note. So the t-shirts that you... Oh my gosh. This is happening again.
Wait, take your time, friend.
One step, left foot, right foot. Get your steps right.
Oh. This was about designing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about your process. And I was going to ask you... How does, I guess, pricing, design work, and like, do all the graphic designers kind of talk to each other? Like, do you find out from, I guess, somebody like Joel being like, hey, somebody asked me about this project. I kind of don't know what to charge. I need help. Or you just kind of like wing it and be like, I think it costs this amount. Or like, how does that work? Because I have no idea, because I only know photography really, and then lighting as this thing. I guess gaffing is the actual term for it. I know how to price those things, but when it comes to design, like it's like a logo or something. Somebody will tell you that, well, it'll cost like $5,000. It's like, ooh, $5,000 feeling kind of steep. Tell me why.
Yeah. So it's literally a bit of both, where the good thing like with having friends within the industry is that you could really share resources and information and everything.
Right.
So literally that I would be like, I'll message Judah, or I'll message Bugs, or I'll message my brethren Mark.
Who's Bugs?
Chantel. Bug Shanty Innovations.
Okay, I don't know.
Another dope designer that you should have on this podcast.
Okay. Look up Bugs.
But like we would just ask questions, because there would be certain things I wouldn't know, because like for me, most of the bigger design jobs these days, I would operate in the capacity of an art director, because I kind of transitioned into that role of an art director.
Right.
And I would just use the price I would ask other designers to just kind of create quotations with clients on all these kind of things. But it varies. Sometimes it would be like, I think it's about value-based pricing.
Yeah.
Most of
my water company. My
so
water
we
bottle
use the
company.
water company. Alright. So obviously when you ask about a logo, you just can't get a logo. If you're starting that business and you want to position yourself as that type of company, it's not just always a logo. A lot of people just put a lot of responsibility on the logo, and it'll be like, get the logo at ease up now. You have other things you need to work around for your system, your entire design system, that you need to have to support that same logo.
Yeah.
And it would be like, you need to have a brand strategy. I can't do brand strategy. I have an understanding of what you could do, but you need to hire brand strategists. Start at that point. Have this person establish your tone of voice, your core values, all these kind of things. So you have that foundation the designer could work on. So it's all those different things when you're building a visual identity would add up to why certain agencies or designers would charge $5,000 for a branding project, or $8,000, or if depending on the agency, you go to $10,000 and up. That is why they would call those big figures. But you as a graphic designer, you have to be able to justify why you are charging X
Yeah.
in all these kind of things. Because at the end of the day, as I was telling a client, I was like, I had to pay Adobe $500 and something a month to use their subscription.
Oh, you are the package.
The package, because I need access to all the things on
Yeah.
I am not going to charge you $150 for a flyer.
Yeah.
Because I have rent to pay, I have electricity to pay, I have expenses, I have to pay for stock. Because I also have a subscription as well to pay. All these kind of things add up in the final cost. And again, it goes back to having a conversation with the client to be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is why X is costing X to get you that one quick thing that you want.
Yeah.
And then also, most of the time you want something today for tomorrow or today for today.
Yeah.
I have to give up another job to prioritize your job.
Yeah.
So obviously you have to pay for a rush fee and all these kind of things. So it's really knowing the price, and as you get older in the industry and hearing different prices, how many people charge certain things based on design style, their design process. There are certain rates that would remain the same.
Like what?
Let's say usually like a flyer. Usually
Okay.
most of the time a flyer would range between, depending on the designer, $300 up to $500. Some may be more depending on how heavy the design work is. If it's something like this guy who design party flyers like Banfield, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work that he would put into like those 3D renders that you were doing graphics and those kind of things. That is design heavy. So they may charge, I don't know his pricing, but for me, if I was doing something like that, I'm not going to charge you on the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
If something like that. So it varies based on person's design's aesthetic. But again, you can't tell me a charging, and this is as a consumer or a client. If I come into you for you to design something for me, and you're just giving me a logo as a PNG in the email when you're submitting it, I'm not gonna spend or pay you $5,000 for just that one little PNG in an email.
Yeah.
I need to see a presentation deck, give me the rationale, how we got to this thing. So it's like all those things I would include in my design process. So like for your water company.
Yeah. I was gonna ask how fast could you think up of a logo or like a whole package thing?
All right, so like if you more than
Because I was
likely,
gonna like do it like right now.
all right, let we go. More than likely,
you are also in this water company too.
consultant. So you come more than likely the usual. You ain't gonna give me 6 months to do this.
I'm sending you an email.
No. We have the conversation. We meet
Okay.
up at a networking event. You want to get this thing done.
Yeah.
So we done meet. We had the consultation. I get all the information. I send you the questionnaire. You fill it out, or you have your assistant fill it out.
Yeah.
I call you back, answer any questions that I needed or concerns that I have.
Yeah.
We have all the information.
It's canned water, by the way.
Canned water. Okay,
Yeah.
great. We already identify if we need to do the printing locally, if we have to outsource or do printing internationally, all these kind of things.
Okay.
I realize packaging is not necessarily my area of expertise, so more than likely I need to bring on a designer whose expertise is in package design.
Okay.
So that is going to be an additional cost.
Yeah.
So we don't do that. You don't agree to the quotation. You have the money in your pockets deep. I do my lie down process. We get the idea. We present the first draft of the logo. Submit the presentation deck. You always busy. You fly into a different country. All right, let me do it virtually. Or you say, nah, I'm coming back in the country. We meet, set up a nice projector in your conference room, and we walk through the entire design process from start to finish, where I show you the sketches, the design rationale, how I got to the final mark, if we design in a logo mark, why this means this, because to me with design, everything is intentional. I need to show you the inner workings of everything to see and to show you why you're paying me X amount and all these kind of things. Some designers, like some of the big professionals in the industry internationally, if you trust them enough, they could just give you something like this and you're good to go. But in our scene, you really had, I just always say, you had to show your working to get a buy-in from certain clients. So you see that, you'll be like, I liking this, you're liking the fluff, you're sold.
Give me a little idea of what It might look like.
All right.
I'll tell you if I like it or not.
Depending on the name, if the name is, we call it,
What we call it our
what is the water?
What's the water company?
Ari.
Don't be paying things in my company name, right?
This is my job as a designer to give you ideas and suggestions to prompt you
okay.
if you're having challenges. Ari's a nice thing, like real trendy.
Ari,
Ari.
like the camera company.
I'm not sure who's that, but like Ari Water.
I like that name. That's what you stick the design in.
No, copywriting is not my really and truly not my thing.
Stick the design in.
No, copywriting is not myself.
This is harder than I thought.
Yeah, it is.
So this is why you hire a copywriter. So we need to bring on a copywriter on this project as well too.
Give me artisan water. No? Okay. I was just
That's very
watching.
vague and general.
Okay. What else? What else is there?
Something tropical. Or
It's
something-
water. What are you talking
No,
about? Tropical.
Thinking about like you had a building hole, you know, buy with the company.
Yeah.
So I was thinking something island based. What does it say island?
Cracked.
What?
Cracked.
Cracked? Wait.
Like you
Yeah,
know, like
something on it.
like I just crack open a can, and I was also thinking about cracking open like a
Okay.
coconut.
Okay.
For
we
water?
We could write it in a real stylish way.
That's
Like-
for him to do.
Yeah.
I just know I
No,
want.
but
But
yeah.
the name is cracked. We cool with that,
Okay.
right?
You trying to be fancy and be cracked with a K? Or
Nah.
cracked with a C?
See, I think C is.
C, but spell it weird. I don't know.
Cracked apostrophe K apostrophe D.
Something like that.
But you had to tell me how to spell it.
How can we spell cracked without all the letters?
You see how like you spell
C-R.
envision?
Yeah.
Right, so that's
C-R.
Trendy and modern and contemporary.
Yeah.
you take out some letters.
We're making water fun.
It's like box water.
Yes, like box water.
Basically. No, basically.
Nah, that box water thing was funny. I was like, what?
But no, like it's so funny. Like with this
I
whole
was like,
water
it's
conversation,
water, but in a
nah.
box.
It's the experience you with him because like there's
Oh,
this
no, for
brand
sure. It looks
liquid.
cool.
It looks cool. I don't know if you ever heard about
I know
Liquid Death.
Oh,
Listen,
that's why I
I
thought
am
about
obsessed.
water, and I love cans.
Nah. But like for me personally, I have an obsession with bottled water brands. So
I
like,
realized
love
I think I just liked Coke because I like to crack open a can, but I don't
The
really like
experience.
the Coke.
you just like the experience
The
and hearing the
experience
song.
Yeah, that is it. I don't care about anything else.
Nah, all of that is out to your
can
brand.
live
is
No,
it?
it does have a crisp.
Yeah, like if you could pay me to just crack open cans all day, I would probably do that.
Listen, at this point in the podcast, if it was up to me, I would have like a quick breakaway segment and just like a ASMR thing with the
I don't have any cans. Yeah, so you could
editing,
do
put in post, Photoshop it.
Photoshop the video.
You know, legit, Dan, it does have people who would literally say them things that they could have just
You
don't
could
know.
Photoshop a video though. You could make a video in Photoshop by the way.
You could. I saw that the other day and I
I've
was
done it
like,
before.
I wanted to do it, but I was like, I don't have the time and I don't have the energy to do it.
It's just in frames, so you have to like.
Go frame by frame by frame.
Well, I mean, you drag it out like however long you want, but I've done it before. I think I did one of the 9+ the ads in it
Oh, okay.
because I had no other video editor, but I had Photoshop, so it was like open up timeline. I was like, timeline.
Oh yeah. Like you could
I was
literally.
like, timeline.
So like for like short animated stuff,
using
I would
it
do
in
that for clients in
Photoshop.
Photoshop. Yeah, you could do a whole bunch of that shit in
Deep in
Photoshop.
Photoshop, then editing a video. I said, this is new.
And the proper editing. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could drag in all the layers and everything because it's just all in the same app.
Right. That's
Yeah.
But yeah, cracked water.
CRK apostrophe D.
Yeah, cracked.
Right.
Sound like a plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want an icon or you just want a text-based logo? Because you know in the industry, water cans is strictly text-based logos.
Yeah, I was saying
all over
water
time.
text-based something.
Okay, something very
Yeah,
bold.
because it kind of fill up and wrap around the whole can, yeah?
You want the brand to look bold, or you want it minimal but still bold and tropical. So kind of like
No,
our
we're
box
Caribbean
water.
people. I think we can have it bold. It don't have to be minimal.
So you want some illustrations and all these kind of things on the packaging and
Yeah.
the branding and everything. All right, cool. We need to add an illustrator to the team.
All right. That's not a problem.
Nice.
What else you want to talk about?
All right, so you're bringing on your marketing specialist, your branding specialist to help deal with the internal stuff in terms of
What on to with you? Well,
it. I mean, we'll collaborate because at
Okay.
the end of the day, once we settle on the packaging, we settle on the logo and all these kind of things, and we're ready to go to market, what your marketing material going to look like as well too.
Sorry, just
The fly.
yeah, it literally landed on the hat, and I was like, it's on.
Man's is retaliation for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one just went by you again.
I don't know where they came from. Literally.
We'll deal with you after.
So yeah, what we looking at was the
Right.
invoice?
So we had the marketing material. I had complete phase 1 already. You happy with your logo and all these kind of things. It's really and truly up to the rest of your creative team to
Okay. What
Go
the
to
invoice
market.
looking like?
Okay.
that invoice.
Yeah, but what is Terrell and his team?
So it wouldn't be Terrell, it would be Cobalt
What is Cobalt
invoice for this entire
invoice
process.
for this?
So
Separate
average,
me and my people. And
so we talking about the logo, we talking about the overall identity, which is like the packaging itself. So your label design. So you may have different variations with the packaging. You may have a smaller can, you may have a bigger can. Usually for me personally at this stage, I would do things in phases. So I would put the logo and like your brand guidelines and all these kind of things in phase 1, and then we move on to phase 2.
right.
So phase 1 invoice, depending on our corporate client, let's say you're working with, as I like to say, US dollars, but I'll use TT dollars, something like that. It's definitely 10K plus. Will definitely have to be 10K plus.
Okay.
Something like that in the corporate client range.
Okay.
Granted, I've never on my own had clients like that,
What do you mean?
like in the 10K region.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have done it like when I work for agencies and all these kind of things.
Or you would see their invoices or something?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, this.
Damn.
And that's like how I kind of guide my
Should I
prices
charge
based
them
on certain
more?
things. Be like,
Yeah.
damn. But no,
there
if I
was
know as a hire, if it's some agency hire me as a freelancer for certain things, I know how much to quote. Because obviously,
Yeah.
they would hit their cap in terms of how much they could hire a client. They could quote a client. So I would still kind of be fair in terms of how much I would charge as a designer.
Yeah.
Because the grand scheme of things, a lot of local clients still not going to spend.
Yeah, not that
10K
much
plus
at all.
for them kind of
Or like they go to an agency for it, and then they know once they go into an agency, they're spending
And then sometimes in past
big bucks,
experience,
big bucks. No whammies, no whammies.
clients will go to an agency and they still have to come back to the designer
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So
Is there anything else you want to ask?
I'm happy.
Anything else you want to share?
Share.
Anything that we
Ask.
missed?
I think that's about it right now. I really don't have anything to promote at the moment.
That's okay, you know.
Promote anything,
Like
but
a
anything you want us
musician.
To talk about.
any words of inspiration to the youth?
I think I mentioned it earlier, but like, if anybody asks me any advice or anything, I would always say is remember your work ethic. That is what's going to keep you and is what's going to give you those recommendations or referrals when you're in certain spaces. Put your ego in your pocket sometimes because you do have to win every battle and you don't always have to be right at the end of the day or challenge a client or an employer. Yes, you may know it may be right, but it ends with the headache or the fuss and all them kind of things. So definitely your work ethic, work with that. I mean, always, what is he saying? Under promise and then over deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't always have to do that because sometimes when you are this person that always constantly delivering, people expect that of you, so they expect you to be a magician and then to tune out things because what they're saying is like the price for good work is more work.
Yeah.
That is so true. But generally, your work ethic, always remember that as a creative. Even the young, old to this day, you're not always right. Yes, you may know that is right, but sometimes it's in with the fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really my word of advice. Oh, also, as creatives, if you can afford it, see a therapist. Trust me. Go to therapy. It helps. It helps.
Yeah.
Do you crab on dumpling?
That is such a very pointed question to ask at Tobago and Jabari.
This is a yes or no question. Because I have my statements to say. after.
I used to, but I don't get crab and dumpling. I know they may revoke my Tobago card.
When I say you don't get it, like you don't buy it or you don't understand why people eat it.
Or you don't understand the hype behind it.
It's not necessarily the hype because crab and dumpling is slap. But the amount of work that goes into eating crab
my
and
gosh.
dumpling.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. Because why? Why am I fighting Hercules? For
To
this
crack
amount of
open meat.
Oh my.
Yeah. From since I grew up, I
Finally,
never understand the that's just too much work to eat crab and dumpling.
That relieved me there.
Nah. So usually I would
I was
like if
gonna
I
ask
eat
you,
it.
like, is it worth it? Like, because I feel like
For
it's
me,
not.
people say it's an experience with it, but I was
What
like,
experience?
if
It
all I
has
enjoy
no
that's
meat to
fine.
even
But
experience.
I don't get the cracking open and then you had a feel
Jesus.
of crab here passing on
I'm
the
sorry
leg
to
back
you
on the
headphone
guy. It's like,
listeners.
no. Like, so for me, in recent times, when I can't eat like curry anymore again, I would just take dumpling and sauce. Just
Right.
give me the sauce and done. Because I'm not going through that headache to go and you share with a plate of crab and dumpling.
Auntie Dolores made crab and dumpling one time, like maybe like 2 years ago or something. So I was like, I never had it before, but I'll try it this time.
Yeah.
Bro,
Fighting.
don't make
Yeah, no.
And especially if it's a
I only
small
had
crab
it-
on them.
I only had it for the first time
the
last
way
year
how they
too.
was getting on, like, this is the greatest thing. I was like, this is not it.
Granted, it is good. When they get in meat and they get a
No,
thing,
it
it is slap.
tastes
No,
good,
it tastes good,
But
but I
too
literally
much
had to be. At
Why
one
am
point,
I
I literally just got fed up and I just started chewing the shell, and I was like, whatever meat I get, whatever.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
it's
get.
solo shell, it's solo shell. That is it.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I remember cracking open a leg, and I was like, I did so. I was like, there's not meat in it.
And then I kind of.
They're like scraping my finger, like I feel like
No,
eating it, but
like for me, if I let's say open up a restaurant or any kind of thing, if I do crab and dumpling, like how the Americans would do like king crab legs, where actually had the meat could actually come out of that.
yeah, that's
That
fine.
that I would understand that, but you see that work to go through them spiders,
Them
them
small
little crab,
crab on them?
again these days, it not.
That's crazy.
It then would spending $75 or $80 so a bowl of that for.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we could be friends.
All right, we could land on that note.
Yeah.
All right, I could do my ad reel now. Or not yet.
What's your favorite body part?
What?
What's your favorite body part?
How we reach there?
Just answer the question.
On me?
Yeah. What's your favorite body part? Like, if you had to be a body part, what would you be? You don't think about it.
A
Like,
hand.
favorite dessert.
Cheesecake.
If you could speak another language, what would it be?
Portuguese.
Favorite store.
Store?
Yeah.
First thing that come to mind.
Taking too long.
Rashad's Men's Store, Tobago.
If you had to be a spy, what would be your code name? Eagle.
Osprey.
Um.
No, I thought about that one actually before. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's been Terrell. We'll link all of your socials and everything, even though you need to post more. So
I know.
that is a talk for a different day. That's been Jabari,
I'm Jabari.
And I'm Terrell.
and it's been the Jabari Show.
See y'all next week.
Yeah.